All right, that makes me tired. Okay. We're going to now go into the story of, it's actually a poem, it's called The Night Before Christmas, and we're going to bring out a few teachers. Tyler Murphy came, and when I guess he was tasked to do this by the Bay Council, and he went and found 5 narrators. He has 5 teachers, so I'm going to bring out Mrs. Charbonneau, Mr. Ortiz, Mr. Allen, Miss Wills, and Miss Davis, and they're going to be reading The Night Before Christmas.
Not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children would nestle all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap.
When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With the little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick.
shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away all, as dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too.
As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircles his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed, like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself.
Twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying a finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
Let's give our teachers another round of applause. I'd like to take this time to thank our principals, Mr. Traub, Mrs. Fernie, Mr. Simicek, for their support of our band programs at Commerce Grove Junior High. I want to thank our high school directors, Mr. Chapa and Mrs. Norris. Mr. Chapa and Ms. Norris went out with us last Friday. This band went to 3 of the elementary schools and performed 3 concerts. They had to load and unload a U-Haul, which that was their first time having to do that with some instruments that almost fell on them. But we made it through, so it was a lot of fun. I want to thank Mr. Tagliaview, Mr. Brown, Mrs. Dominguez, for what you see on the stage is pretty much, because they're there every day, they're working with me, and we're getting this group together, so, and all the groups, the beginners, everybody. Parents, I want to thank you for your child's involvement, bringing them to and from rehearsals, performances, getting them what they need. I want to thank Mrs. Dillon for coming with us last Friday. She gave me a chai latte. It was really good. I've had 3 since then. It's a habit, I know. All right, to the Wind Ensemble, I want to recognize students that made an all-region band. If you would please stand. practice, preparation. They tried out at the beginning of November, and then the week after they did their clinic and concert. The clinic and concert, they got to work with some really good directors, and hopefully they bring all of that information back to their sections and make them better. I want to take this time to also thank the Wind Ensemble for their exemplary behavior. The children at each school and their teachers were just raving about how impressed they were. They got to see their former students. And, you know, I tell these kids every day that they're the model for all of the other band students at Copperas Cove Junior High. And they've been succeeding in that and representing the band program, the school, and especially you, their parents. So I want to say thank you again to you parents for making great young adults up here. All right, we're going to end the concert tonight with a very familiar tune. If you've heard of Mariah Carey, I don't really know who that is. This is a song called All I Want for Christmas Is You. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday.
and then got the mom, and then